Welcome back to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. This is an important one, and I wrestled with how to do this video a lot, but I had a lot of people reaching out to me today asking about another video that's circulating on YouTube and the internet from another YouTube influencer. So I decided I want the information that I wanted to share about what that person is talking about and sharing. I wanted to share some of my opinions, and I also wanted to express what the responsibility that people like myself and other YouTubers have. It's just you try to give out as best information as you can, but it's tough to because some things you need to put onto behind a paywall like a Patreon, and sometimes you just need to get out the information out to people. So what I wanted to talk about today, I can't talk about the particular content that he expressed, but I will say that there were some flaws in it, and I will share more on behind my paywall to protect myself. I don't do that to make money or profiteer on this, but I just do it to protect myself. And just if people happen to join my AMA Wednesday night, ask me for more details, I'll be happy to provide them. But I wanted to talk about some general strategies, and I think we can play a little game I like to play from time to time called What If. So what if the exchanges stopped working overnight? What would be your strategy? What would be your plan? These are the conversations that you need to have now with your future self. You're about to experience over the next 3 to 4 months something that you may not have ever experienced if you started with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency after the big run up in 2017. So I get it all the time. How do you work through a run up? How do you go through a bull run? What is your strategy? Well, the first thing you need to do is to have a plan, have an exit strategy. What are you going to do if your coins start to skyrocket? What is your target exit price? And also, what is your mechanism for taking those profits? It's tough to have conversations with your future self, but you need to do it because it helps you to plan. So one of those possibilities that is not, first off, don't have your coins on an exchange. You want to remove all counterparty risk at all possible, not your keys, not your coins. So the first thing, if you have them on a Coinbase or a Gemini or a Kraken or a Binance US or anything else, pull those coins into a wallet. And if you don't know how to do that, please join my Patreon, or please book an appointment with me, and I will talk about how to do that. I do go through some of my security. I will add that video up here of how I do it. And I put coins in my own wallet. And that way, when I say that, I don't have a wallet in front of me, but if I reach in my pocket and I pull out a wallet, I'm going to take my business card as if it's a wallet. If I reach in my pocket and pull out a wallet, I can go to the store and buy money with this. I can buy stuff with this money because there's no counterparty risk. I have it. I control it. It's in my wallet. If the bank is closed or the exchange is closed, you have counterparty risk that if they shut down, you can't get to your wealth. So you need to protect your wealth and need to have a strategy. Also, there's another possibility. Here's another what if. What if overnight some other country revalues things and that the prices just skyrocket overnight? What would happen if Bitcoin went up? If Bitcoin went up 20 times? And that can't happen. Go back to 2017. I think in January 2017, might have been 2016. Bitcoin was floating with $1,000, and then it was 20,000 by the end of the year. There's a 20x. It can and does happen. So if you're floating around with, say, 25 or 30 grand of crypto, just as a ballpark, and all of a sudden it doubles, it goes up 20x overnight, you're over $500,000 suddenly. And that's a whole different world to be in. That is a problem to cash out, as a problem to work through exchanges, and you need to work through that. And that's why I recommend having multiple paths between the fiat world and the crypto world, because if you want to cash out, you need to have them, because if they wash out some bridges, you need to find one that still works. That's why I recommend my over-the-counter solution. There's two of them. There's Caleb and Brown, but I also have one that's stateside, which is Coin Trading Company. That link is below. And I also have Viva Capital that I work with for accounts over 100,000. You may not be there today, but tomorrow, 10 grand could be 200 grand. And all of a sudden, I need a custodian because I don't feel comfortable holding this amount of money myself, and I don't have a good strategy. So have those conversations with the over-the-counter, get set up. Have those conversations with Viva Capital, get set up. Have conversations with consultations or experts like myself. I tell people all the time when I'm on a call, first off, I want to add value. I want to give back. That's my entire goal. But I want to be the person I wish I had when I started. And a lot of people who started in the last 3 or 4 years have never experienced a bull run. So you need to have an exit strategy, target price. Don't get greedy. and have a conversation with your future self. How would you feel if a coin went from, I don't know, 1/100th of a dollar to 1/10 of a dollar? It went up, or any coin goes up 10x. How would you feel if a coin went up 10x and you had, say, $1,000 and now all of a sudden it's 10 grand? How would you feel about that? What would you want to do? Would you want to cash out 10%, get your money back, and then let the rest ride? Would you feel comfortable with having those coins on an exchange? The answer should be no. But if you start to get above like 100 grand, what's your strategy then? Because you're in a new tier of investor, and you need to have, like, that's why I recommend having a custodian at the ready, because they can help you with this, because they've been down this road many times. So have that strategy in mind. If an exchange is closed, all the more reason to have an over the counter, because the over the counter, you can pick them up and say, hey, I have coin XYZ. I need to liquidate it. Can you get that into money in my bank or cash or USDC or Tether or whatever you choose? I don't recommend Tether, but if you cash out any stable coin you want, or even put it into Bitcoin, they can do that for you. Even the exchanges are down. Yes, the fee is 3.5%, but if that's your only option, that's your only game in town, you got to know how to do it. So I know that can be frightening a little bit, but you need to have these conversations with yourself now to preserve your wealth going forward. That's the entire point of being in cryptocurrency, preserving your wealth for a future day so that it's there and it actually has more buying power later on, but you have to protect it. All right, well, let me check my notes, because I had a lot of notes and I wanted to touch on everything. So again, I know that there's talk about intuitives and giving out certain dates and how they feel about certain markets. And I will be full disclosure, I believe in intuitives because I think that no source should be discredited. But you take everything with a grain of salt. And what you can do is you have plans, and then you enact those plans if certain things happen. So if you get close to a mystical date that means something to you and you want to take profits, know how to take the profits. That's the whole point of the conversation. But I will say this. You need to analyze any exit strategy that anyone shares with you. And I will say that this influencer gave some bad advice in part of his exit strategy. And I don't want to go into the details here on this platform for many reasons, but I will share that my opinions, it's only my opinions. I'm just a guy on the internet, but if you want to hear my opinion on it, Wednesday night on my AMA on my Patreon and on my Patreon site, I'll be happy to say like what I observed and what I felt about his exit strategy that was flawed. And I think that's really important to share. And I hope that he, is appreciative of, like, if he's being as altruistic as he says about getting this message out to help people and not them to take extreme measures if they lose their wealth, then he shouldn't mind that I'm giving this correction out on my Patreon. But I need to protect myself and put it behind my Patreon. So I think that to recap, what if exchanges are closed? Have a plan. What if your price, what if have a target price for all your coins? And what if it's satisfied? What is your plan? Have plans ready so that the market doesn't dictate to you. You dictate, like, okay, when this coin gets to 20x of what it is today, I'm selling 10%, getting double profit, and so on. Just have an idea. There's multiple ladder out strategies. We can talk about them on Patreon as well. Again, I cannot give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing my experience, hoping to give back to this community that I think would like to receive it. So please like and subscribe to this video. I've shared a lot. I've shared as much as I can on a free YouTube. I have to put the rest behind my Patreon wall. I'm sorry, but this is part of what I have to do now. And I wanted to share with everybody, but I also want to make sure that take everybody's opinion, including mine, with a grain of salt. And I'm more than happy to share my thoughts Wednesday night on Patreon, on my AMA. Please join me there. Please share this video. It's important information. And I want to help people, but I also need to protect myself as well. So lots said today. I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau. I hope to see you Wednesday night, and I'll see you next time.